depending on how the first 8 picks of this draft go tonight, there is a chance the Bears could look at the picks around them and those team needs and decide they can trade back and still get a guy they like out of those 6 to 8 blue chip guys at the top of their draft board. One name surrounding that scenario is Darnell Wright, a right tackle out of Tennessee. And as Ryan Poles has said throughout this entire process as well, they know they have so many holes to fill on this roster. And Bijan Robinson, a running back out of Texas, is one of the hottest names in the draft this year. I don't think anyone would be surprised if the Bears decided to take him in the top 10 as well, Lou. The athleticism really stands out when you're talking about Darnell Wright. And I talked to a Tennessee football staff member, and this is what he had to say about the offensive tackle. He said when he bought into the new coaching staff, he really took off, and he doesn't even know how good he can be. He is a freak of an athlete, played 3 positions, and did whatever the team needed. Ryan Poles said that he was their #1 tackle on their draft board, and he proved this offseason that they are riding with Justin Fields as their quarterback. They showed it by trading away the #1 overall pick and bringing in wide receiver DJ Moore, and now giving him an offensive tackle to protect him after he was sacked a league-high 55 times. This is a front office and coaching staff that talks about their priority being having high-character guys in the locker room. So what do you think it says if they take the risk on Carter if he does fall to 9?
The Heat finished on a 16-1 run to win that game, and at his end-of-season press conference, Arturas Karnisovas said, by the way the Bulls finished the season, he actually feels like they're on the right path.
AK says they're not going to blow it up, they're not going to rebuild, but what pieces do they need to add to make sure if they have this big 3 still in Chicago, Vooch is obviously going to be a free agent, that they can make the playoffs, and that is the standard. That was the expectation this year. He said it himself, and they didn't get there. Biggest news today was the signing of Elvis Andrews to a 1-year, $3 million deal, but this is a player who's played more than 1,900 games at shortstop, but the plan for him in Chicago is to be their everyday second baseman. Now, Rick Hahn is a huge fan of Andrews because if you remember, he was brought into Chicago last year to play shortstop when Tim Anderson was out with an injury, and even TA said he's a guy you want to be around, and he's a guy that he can learn from because he has more experience. A lot of these new Cubs players have been here for weeks getting their work in Arizona. They have bought into what they want this Cubs team to be this year, and he mentioned someone like Dansby Swanson. We all knew the Cubs were going to be in the market for a shortstop this offseason, and I think a lot of people thought they were maybe going to go after someone like Xander Bogaerts or Carlos Correa, those top two premier guys, but getting Dansby Swanson is still one of the best moves they've made, and probably the best move they've made all offseason. You're getting a guy who hit 25 home runs last year. That would have matched Patrick Wisdom for the most on the Cubs roster last year as well, and you're getting a winner. Every single person you talk to about Dansby Swanson described him as a pure winner.